Hello, Cinder here. It's been a while. Hopefully everyone is staying safe amidst everything going on. Staying inside, washing your hands, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's just get into the purpose of the speed paint. So, the concept of the Bird Kingdom was originally created by Shuki, a mutual of mine, and I was super intrigued in it, so I wanted to join myself with Bianca. This kingdom spans from some of my other mutuals associates to people I haven't even met before, but their characters are absolutely adorable. Bianca is based on a blue jay just because the creator already made a pure white bird, and even though blue jays are known for being blue, she's gonna have white hair because that's how I originally created her. So let's go with that. Yeah. So, a small portion of her backstory is that she was originally a medical android in a Detroit Become Human universe. This explains why she is usually very stoic and has trouble conveying her emotions. This can be a little bit of a problem for both family and friends, as they can't really tell what she's thinking because her face is almost always non-emotional. Which is why in the Bird-A-U, it's a big plot thing that she enjoys flying a ton, and she's almost always in the air. I'm a little bit weird in the way that I don't really know what to do with the character until I've actually played them. So, like, the concept can be one thing, but then as soon as I am writing from the character's point of view, it can flip on its head. So, originally, Bianca was supposed to be very sassy and close-minded, but by the end of it, she was very open-minded but struggled to convey her emotions properly, which is what we have now. Now, I mentioned earlier that it's a struggle for both family and friends to tell what she's thinking, but specifically with Marie, her adopted daughter, it's affected how she is able to communicate with people because she thinks that not letting others see her emotions is normal. She sort of adopted Bianca's stoicness in a way. But after going to school for a bit, she realizes that it's okay to convey her emotions. Even then, she still has a little bit of difficulty conveying her thoughts and feelings to her mom. Now, Bianca is a single mother by her own volition. She's all for familial bonds, but she's not really one for a romantic relationship, if that makes sense. So Marie is adopted. I don't really think Bianca would be one for having her own kid, either, like, specifically biologically, if that makes sense. Just because she wants to give kids that don't really have a home to go to a home, because she has been in that situation herself. Now, I'm not entirely sure on how this works in the Burb Kingdom, just because, again, I haven't really had that much time to play her character, but specifically in the Detroit Become Human AU, she has had to move a lot from one place to another, from a nursing home to Jericho to a building that's whole purpose is to just help androids. Now, to go into a little bit more detail as to why she is constantly on the run, in the Detroit Become Human roleplay that I did, it started right after androids were able to get their own rights. So it started when androids were being integrated back into human society. Well, for Bianca to survive so long, she would have had to been on the run for at least a few weeks, if not a month, depending on how long the revolution actually went on for in the Detroit Become Human universe. I don't really have the resources to look it up at the moment, but either way, you get the idea. Essentially, Bianca was a prototype for a medical android that they were going to do, but then once protests broke out and androids started deviating, Bianca deviated herself once her life was being put in danger. Essentially, at this home, they had the job to look after the elderly, and through this job, Bianca was able to befriend a young child that was constantly visiting their grandparent. But once soldiers showed up to try and take out the androids before they could deviate, the child made an opening because the soldiers wouldn't be willing to shoot her, and made an opening for Bianca to run. So from there, she went to Jericho, where she was safe for a time before, yet again, disaster struck and she was forced to move, lying low until the revolution passed and androids were successfully given rights. Not really sure how this would translate into the Burb Kingdom AU, but it's mostly peaceful, so she would still have her stoic personality. It was really easy to trust Milo, one of the other characters in the Detroit Become Human roleplay, whose job essentially was to act as a guide, just because he had already been in another roleplay that I had been in, My Hero roleplay, where I actually made Ari, another one of my main OCs. Toby, on the other hand, was a little bit out there just because of his personality and a little bit of red flags. So, in the Detroit Become Human roleplay, Milo's job was to run the building that helped repair androids after the revolution passed. Now, Bianca wasn't going to trust him right away, obviously, but I was really hyped to see Milo in this universe, just because in the My Hero roleplay, he was... It's hard to describe, but he is a detective in every form of the word. He was very excited to get to know people, just to crack the code, figure them out. Sort of like a combination of Connor and Sherlock Holmes, if that makes sense, with a little bit of puppy flair. Toby, on the other hand, is a bit complicated. Through the roleplay, you were able to figure out that his mom was not approving of him being gay, / also being infatuated with an android who turned out to be Raphael. Now, Raphael is based off of Ralph, a canon character in the game, and if you know Ralph, you will know that he is a very sporadic character, known for violent outbursts if he feels threatened. Again, it's a bit hard to explain, but hopefully it makes sense. With coloring Bianca, I was a little bit confused at first, just because I didn't really know what colors would best suit her. So I started out with a dark blue for the jeans and then black for the shirt, but then later realized that black would work a lot better for the jeans. As for the coat, I thought tan would work best, since her skin tone is already very light due to her being albino. And yeah, later in the speed paint, after everything wrapped up, I actually added blue streaks to her hair just to sort of add the blue jay flair. But in the speed paint, it's gonna be entirely white. Around this point is when I started coloring the wings. It was a little bit difficult at first, just because I had never colored bird wings before, and I didn't really have a point to go off of, so I just looked up a picture of a blue jay and winged it. Pun not intended. But yeah, Bianca is honestly one of my favorite children. She's right up there, which is honestly very sad, because again, I haven't had much time to play her, haven't had time to develop her character, all that good stuff. So I might do more stuff with her in the future, I'm not sure. And of course she has to have icy eyes just because of her stoic personality, and I am not subtle at all. Oh, I almost forgot. careers. I'm not really sure what exactly she would be if I ever did a human AU for her, but she would definitely be some sort of medical professional. I feel that even if it wasn't necessarily programmed into her, she would still feel the need to help others, even with her setbacks and personality. She would definitely keep more to a professional side, but she would try to be there for her patients as much as possible. With her fashion sense, it gives off a very loose but tight feel, if you get what I mean, which sort of reflects her personality. She can be very loose with some people, but very tight with others. So close family and friends, she'll be slightly more open with her emotions, whereas strangers, she'll be very closed off. I cannot speak today. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to say about Bianca in the Detroit Become Human AU. Since she can track your heart rate, she is essentially a living lie detector, which is another reason why Milo takes an interest in her. Because if he has that on his side, he can essentially tell if someone is lying to his face without having to use his detective skills, which, admittedly, he says it himself, it's sometimes flawed. He doesn't take too kindly to that. But anyway, I almost forgot to mention that the reason Bianca has her name instead of her model name, Marie, which is sort of a reference to Marie's name in and of itself, except her model name comes with an E, whereas Marie's is just Mari. But the reason Bianca has her name is because of the small child that I referenced before. Because they had gotten so close, Bianca had a way of being differentiated from the other androids. And because name meant so much to her, whenever she introduces herself now, she goes by Bianca. I might throw this in the Burb Kingdom or Human AU in some way, if she ever gets a Human AU. But I may throw this in as she never knew her parents, so she sort of just rejects the name that she was given. Sort of like, if you weren't there for me, why should I honor something that you gave me? If that makes sense. Just very rebellious teen screaming. But yeah. One of my favorite parts of this was definitely the background and shading the line art, even if it did take a little bit more time than I thought it would. I'm going to try coloring my line art a little bit more from now on and researching ways to do it more effectively. But for now, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Even though some of the shading isn't really spot on, but we'll ignore that for the sake of progress. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a blast. Again, stay safe, fight the power, don't do drugs, all that good stuff. And have a good night. Okay. Hello, Cinder here. It's been a while. Hopefully everyone is staying safe amidst everything that's happening here. Stay inside, wash your hands, all that good stuff. But anyway, on to shit.